Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of You Can't Sit With Us. I'm one of your hosts, Becky. And today we have a very special podcast because the Mommies are back. Hi, Mommies.
Hi, Mommy.
We've got Rachel.
Hi.
We've got Sarah.
Hello.
We've got Joey.
What's up?
And we got Rainie on the ones and twos.
Hi.
How's everybody doing? What's up? It's been a little while since we've had you all back.
I feel like I've lived a million lives every day since I've seen you.
I feel like that's probably true. I feel like we've all lived many, many lives. I think it's actually been, months since we've all been in the same room?
A year?
Okay.
A year?
To be honest,
Question
I feel
mark.
like with my mom brain, I'm like, could have been a month ago.
Could have been yesterday.
Could have been a year ago.
It could have been a calendar year ago.
I actually was like, I was going to wear overalls, and I was like, I did wear them in an episode once, and I was like, I guess I won't wear those. But I was like, I couldn't figure out when it was, you know?
Yeah. True. Do you think mommy brain is real?
I think scientifically they have said it's
Right?
real.
I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think it's also just like you have a lot of shit to freaking think about, you know? So it's like half like thinking like, are they alive? And are, you know, but I think the mommy brain like lasts for like scientifically, right? They have like your hormones and everything like that.
Your
It's
DNA
fog.
changes forever.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you have another person's
better.
DNA in your body
Yeah.
and it gets absorbed.
how bad?
In fact, every single time, if you're in a heterosexual relationship where like someone whose sex is female and the person you're having sex with and their sex is male and they come in you, there's remnants of their DNA in your body too.
I knew it.
Forever.
I knew it. I could feel it.
Wait,
Leave
I heard
behind.
Okay, I heard microplastics.
DNA.
Okay, there are some
Are in
people who
semen.
I've slept with who I don't want their DNA anywhere near my life.
Well, you better
Fair enough,
not.
Rachel.
You're like, this
There it
pimple is because of you.
But seriously, there are microplastics in semen.
Let's get
I heard
into
that
it.
I read yesterday that microplastics, we eat a credit card a week.
Oh my God.
A credit card a week?
Well, if
It's
you
not
are,
funny.
if you
It's
are
not
what
funny.
you eat, then I'm made of credit cards.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm also like, as a kid, I chewed on pens all the time.
Me
Like
too.
a pen top.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't care if there's microplastics in me. I literally ate
them.
plastic.
Yeah.
I didn't eat a microplastic. I ate a macro.
Macro.
Right. Like if you have one of those like really cute multicolored like plastic chopping board, that's like we're eating that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you
yeah.
can't. You shouldn't. But then it's like all the boards. It's like every
All the
board. I'm like,
But
okay,
then
well, what
doesn't
fucking board
wood
can I have
hold-
food on?
Yeah.
Like more germs and shit.
I know, but I'm kind of pro germs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Let the germs
live.
from
Plastic. I made it this far. I know that's not
Okay.
right.
I know.
I
but
don't
there-
know what is right though.
Yeah,
No
it feels like
one
there's no way to win.
There's no way to win.
Yeah, that's basically it. I think the wood board people are against because of the bacteria, but I do the wood board.
Okay.
We do a plastic board.
I have plastic.
I have plastic.
because I can put it in the dishwasher.
I know.
Yeah, it's like compressed
I've heard you-
plastic. Oh.
Oh no, Sarah, what you
But
hear?
also, what the fuck do I know? I don't know.
I know. I'm like, should I just instead of chopping things up on a board, bite them? I'm like,
yeah, just pure
No, I don't think more
nutrients.
is better.
Especially if it's raw chicken.
right?
My
I think
mom
that'd be
sent me an
good.
article about how black
The black utensils.
Yeah.
not the, but
I
like
saw
the
that
black
too.
spatulas
Yeah.
are bad. And so like honestly, I don't even read it anymore because she just like will be in my ear. My mom helps out with the baby a lot and it's very helpful. So I just ordered new ones and threw it out. I didn't even
No.
read the article. I
What
was
did
like,
you
whatever you want
order,
me to
though?
do. I ordered white ones.
Okay, so it's just the color is the issue because we have
Gotta
all
read
black.
the article, Becky. I didn't.
I don't keep the same thing. I was like, we
funny
need to get
because
new ones.
My husband must have read the exact same
was in the
article
Atlantic,
because
though,
he went
so I
around
trusted it.
throwing our black plastic kitchen utensils away like a salad fork or something. And he's like, there's forever chemicals in them.
Yeah,
So then what did you get instead?
Nothing.
I got the white ones.
Oh, we're good. We're going to replace them
So
with
the
stainless
color-
steel.
Okay.
I think it's like but if you're using
But if you use a stainless steel
Cast
pan,
iron and
or the it's not
stuff.
that even the
Cast
cast
iron
iron.
you
Cast
can
iron
do.
you can use.
Use
It's
metal, yeah.
the Teflon.
Yeah, Teflon you shouldn't.
Well, we don't use
shouldn't use the
Teflon.
Teflon.
Is
Yeah.
anyway.
Teflon bad?
Teflon's
Yeah.
really
Oh,
bad.
but it's so easy.
You know what you gotta
Ugh,
watch?
God damn
Here,
it.
wait, I have a solve for this, and it's real because someone just told it to me like 2 months ago. Use a stainless steel pan, and all you have to do is heat it up for 3 minutes with nothing in it, and then shit won't stick.
Okay, I'll try it. I just got
I do
concerned. Are we like
5
moms
minutes.
talking about Tupperware?
We are moms talking about. We're talking about Teflon.
This is why we have mom
Why?
brain.
We're talking about Tupperware, but we already said come inside, and it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're edgy.
It's vibes.
Yeah, we
And-
are edgy. Yeah.
and cringy.
It's mom
Yeah.
brain because our mental load has grown exponentially and we don't
Okay,
get
this
enough
is-
sleep.
This is gross, and you could cut this out. But if you don't swallow the semen, do you still get the microplastics? If you
No, this isn't good. Well,
How well do you
much
brush your
gets
teeth after?
absorbed
Wait a minute.
into
I
your
don't
brush my
mouth?
teeth after.
Sarah!
You brush your teeth?
You don't brush your teeth after?
No, it's not good in my teeth. What do you mean? I do a quick swallow. I feel like it's better that way. I do that.
Well, you don't brush your teeth in the moment.
Well, guys, we're going to move on. Question for you. I mean, we've already talked about Tupperware, everyone's favorite thing, and Teflon. What are your rose and thorn of the week? What's something good or happy or fun? And then something maybe a little more challenging. Anyone got anything to share?
The cutest thing has been happening. I just started reading the girls their first chapter book ever.
What is it?
It is a magical wizarding world that was written by no one. And I've just started reading it to them, and Poppy could not give two shits. So every night we read like a picture book, and then Poppy's like, "Can I go to bed, please?" And she's like, and we're like, "Yes." And I tuck her in, and she's like, "Can you shut the door and go read somewhere else?" And I'm like, "Yes, no problem." And then June and I trot out to my bed or the sofa, and she brings her blankie and she puts it over both of us. And I read a couple chapters to just her, and she stops and asks questions, and she's so sweet. And if there are any really good parts the next night, she's like, "Poppy, Poppy, Poppy, you just got to read one page about all the owls arriving." And then we'll read that page to Poppy. And we've never naturally gotten one-on-one time with them. And it's become June and I's thing. And every day when I drop them off at school, she's like, "Are you going to be home early enough for Harry Potter?" And I'm like, yes.
That's going to be a
my
core
God,
memory.
Get to read Harry Potter.
Good. And I honestly thought I would have to like explain more of it to her with no pictures and all these, words like muggles and Slytherin and stuff. Like it's not stuff she's ever heard of. And she's following it all. And at one point, she was like, "The bad wizard, how do you think he got so much power?" I was like, "I don't know. What do you think?" And she was like, "I think he killed people because no one loved him. And then when they died, he took their power, and that wasn't good." And I was like, "Damn, girl, write some stories. You
Write a
got
book.
it."
Figured it out.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're like on, they haven't entered Hogwarts yet. We're early on, and she has figured it out.
Is he still under the stairs?
No, he's past that. We're on the train.
Oh, okay.
We're on the
Okay,
train.
great.
Hermione
Exciting.
just came in, and I was like,
You're
yes,
gonna
role
like her.
model for my girls. Let's go.
Aw.
Anyways, so that's my rose.
That's such a sweet memory that you're going to have with her now. I love
is.
that.
There is a thing with twins where you don't really have your thing with each of them the way I think you probably more easily do with kids of different ages because they're doing different things. Like they have their things together with me, but it's just naturally occurred, and it's really sweet.
It probably will continue to grow even more
Yeah.
with that as they get older, right? Like they're gonna I had close friends that were twins growing up, and even though they remained close, like one was like Olivia was like into theater with me, and the other one was like more into like debate club and stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll have those separate things. So,
They will.
And I
That's so
think
nice.
15 minutes of one-on-one time per day is like enough for them to feel like they had their time with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
15
sweet.
minutes.
Reading
Yeah.
with your parent is like some of my favorite memories, and it's like what is like most important to me because I still have these memories like they're like visceral of like my mom reading like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to me, and like all of those, and like I would hold her hand, and then as we would like fall asleep, I know she would try to slip out, and I still remember as a kid going, Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
And she would have to stay with me, but it was like all like that to me is like Miles watched me read the other night and he was like, "It's so animated. You're not going to get him to sleep." But I'm like, I was like,
is our
tripping on
special
a full
time.
yeah, I was
production.
just like, but this is like, I love reading out loud to him, and it's like so fun and like exciting, but those are those memories that like, and my first memory was at 3. So like you like they
remember, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you picture yourself parenting and some of the stuff you look forward to, like this is the stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think in longitudinal studies where they see like, hey, what are the factors that contribute to like a person's success or like intelligence level or college acceptance and stuff. And the stark difference besides income level of the zip code that you live in is whether your parents read to you about 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So you're just making June smarter and smarter and smarter.
And Poppy.
That's what I even was told.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, they get a lot of reading done to them throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But like my friends that are like teachers or used to be teachers, because I was like, you know, it's like the public school, private school, they're like, what matters with elementary school and all that is, are you reading to them at night? And so it's just that like, and it doesn't have to be forever. Like you said, like the 15, 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's important.
Anyways, that's my rose.
I love that. Does anyone else have a rose or a thorn?
I have a rose.
Give us the rose.
I'd like to say it's not kid related, but sorry. I have a rose. Julian, like, you know, you're like, you say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And sometimes I'm like, do you know what love is? Because I'm kind of waiting for you to see it back. You know? I'm like, we love. I'm like, this is love. But the yesterday morning, I was like, you know, kiss, and we get a kiss, and he said, "I love you," and it was like, I was like, and he had done it to Miles yesterday, and I was a little jealous, and it was
Juju.
yeah, I was like, I'm so happy for you. No, but it was this like. And like he grew up this weekend, you know, he's not 2 yet, but like in a way that like we played and hung out this weekend where it wasn't so fucking exhausting. It was still exhausting. But it wasn't like you're like, okay, what do we do
Are you going to
next?
die if we don't watch you every
Exactly,
second?
exactly.
So,
Like,
like,
we
enter a different phase.
Yeah, we were playing and he's like talking so much that it was like, yes. And like, you know, who cares if they're talking early or not? It all evens out. It doesn't really matter. But for me, I'm just excited because I want to like communicate with him. And I'm like, I'm a communicator. This is what I'm here for. And I was talking to someone recently, I think we've talked about this before, but the first year, and she's like, it's so horrible. And I had to remind her, I'm like, it's so horrible. But then, like, I'm telling you, it gets so great and fun.
Oh, yeah.
And if it is really pleasant for you, then I don't want to hear about it.
Keep it to yourself.
Someone I know was like, it's been actually really great. I'm like, okay, bye, bitch.
See you later.
See you later.
Hearing the like, I love you, mama, and the tiny little baby voice.
Oh
You're like,
my God. It's like, oh, it is that sweet stuff that you're like, okay, this is, it's all been worth it. You know? But yeah, I think we just are like, we're having a bond, you know, of like friendship where I'm like, oh, I think we can like hang out, you know?
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
playing together as opposed to like watching him play.
Yes, exactly. And watching if he's like, you know, like it is that like, okay, how are we, you know, what is our relationship going to look like? It just, you know,
And you're getting like the first little taste of that, like communication as humans.
Yeah. And luckily he's funny. And that's important to me. And not every kid is funny. I'll say it. I've met a few.
Someone had to. Someone has to say it.
Someone has to say it.
Not every kid's funny.
Not funny. But yeah, that's my rose.
Joey, you got a rose? You got a thorn?
They're kind of intertwined with each other. So my thorn is, I had a friend pass away in the last couple of weeks after finding out they had breast cancer within 5 months. So it was very quick, very sudden, very shocking. But it sort of altered my brain chemistry in the last few weeks in this grieving process, where the rose is like, I honestly see everything through like rose-colored glasses now of like, YOLO, you know, like everything that like you might have been annoyed with or frustrated with or maybe didn't have a lot of confidence in. I'm just like, we're gonna fucking do it. You know, it's like, should we, you know, you might be on a weekend with your kids and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Do we really have to go to the park and do this? And everything was like, we'll just do it. It'll be fine. Everything's fine because we're alive. And so I felt this like huge burst of just confidence and positivity of like, well, you only live once.
Yeah.
Let's make the most of it. And so that's my rose and thorn all wrapped together, where I'm just like, I just love everyone more and I appreciate everything more because we get to experience it.
Yeah.
Online shopping is my jam, especially when the online experience is as seamless as when I go into the store. It got me wondering, how do they do that? How is it that some businesses like Aloe and Allbirds are selling through the roof? I mean, sure, they have a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers like me, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversion up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Aloe, Allbirds, and Mattel use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/sitwithus, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/sitwithus to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/sitwithus. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone always talks about red flags, but I never hear anyone mention green flags. Let's start looking on the brighter side and determine what works for us. What are some of your relationship green flags? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags. Actively practice them in your relationships and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. At You Can Sit With Us, we love therapy. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. I love that BetterHelp is fully online. It makes therapy affordable and convenient, and they're currently serving over 5 million people worldwide. I love that you get access to a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. And I love you can easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/sitwithus to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sitwithus.
And I think that's so important. I try to remind myself that every day, because you can, when something like that and so devastating happens, you remember it for a little and then you slowly forget, right? And it's like you have to sometimes I'm complaining or things aren't the way it's supposed to be. And then you're like, wake up, bitch. This is really cool. This is, Miles and I like this. David Foster Wallace is complicated and not everyone's on his side, but he had this graduation speech. This is Water. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
So actually one of the things before Miles and I met was that we both loved this phrase. And he starts this graduation speech off being like, there's 2 goldfish and they're in the little goldfish pond, whatever. And one goldfish looks at the other goldfish and says, how's the water? And the other goldfish looks back and goes, what the hell is water? And what it's saying is, this is water. Right now, this is water. We're here. This is it. And sometimes when I'm really frustrated, I try to be like, this is water. This is water. How cool have we made, even, it's so hard and everything. And that's how I figure out God stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen. Probably nothing, every day. I mean, it'd be awesome if there was something. But this, we've made it. Out of the millions, billions of sperm, the millions of eggs, all of these things, we are here. We made it. And wow, we get
with
to
each
live
other.
Yeah, we get to do it. And also, I do that with people thinking, sometimes I'm they think they're better than me. Or I get in my head about stuff like that. And then I'm like, we're all going to die though. It doesn't matter.
It's the one inevitability.
The one thing for sure.
Make the most of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's I try to tell them when I get self-conscious or I'm like, it doesn't matter. And my best friend Kendall, she lost a lot of people in college and she almost went nihilistic route because she was like, it so doesn't matter. So there's a balance of it of how do you get through the world? But I think that's such a beautiful gift that you received on a terrible, terrible tragedy is wow, we're here,
Yeah, it makes, I really feel like when you're in the trenches of motherhood. I mean, you're in the trenches forever after you have kids.
Yeah.
It's like, it's easy to be like, when the fuck will you go to sleep? Or like, just eat, just put your shoes on. God damn it. You know, like you're like in that moment so much. And when you experience loss, you're like, oh, I get to have kids. Or like, I get to be late to something with them and it'll be fun when we're there. And so like all the small annoyances through the day just kind of like melted away in the last few weeks.
Wow.
Which is like a good feeling. It's like I woke up on a Sunday and was like, I'm not stressed today. I normally would be super stressed, maybe get into Sunday scaries. And I was like, well, I'm alive. And I get to come here in the morning and see my friends. Like, that's better than not.
That's very true. Well, I think that is a really beautiful way to look at death and life. And my rose and thorn is kind of tied up in that on no way the same level because it's about a pet, not a human. But we got some sad news about Alfred. He has kidney disease, which is not very good for cats. So he might not be with us for very long. But what we're doing right now is wondering how to like, Henny's not going to remember him, I don't think. And they're so close. They're like little buddies. And I'm like, would it be better in 2 years when Henny's like 3 or 4? And then he'll remember that he had this like best friend that was this cute little cat? Or is it better that he doesn't remember Alfred because then he doesn't have to miss him? You know?
I think it will be a distant memory though, even if it's 3 or 4. If it helps, that helps at all. You know, like.
An essential question of parenting is how, especially once they get a little bigger and out into the world without you, how do you want to protect them from sadness and things happening to them and whatnot, but they are humans and you cannot, you know? You actually, it is not in their best interest, but also you can't protect them from being human. So like, you know, whether he remembers him or not, in the moment, he probably will feel, he'll know that he lived with this cat and now he doesn't at some point, and that'll be hard.
I think if Birdie disappeared tomorrow, I don't know.
No,
he loves Birdie, but I think he would just like going on with it. It's, you know, my mom said this to me is like, it's so painful to watch your kid go through pain in your life, you know, like just like, and she's like, you know the right thing, you know, you knew that guy, but you can't say things often, you know, because the only way through is going through it. You know, the only way to learn is to experience. You can't be warned. You can't, you know, or else you're in like gray gardens, you know, don't leave the house, you know, like it's like, I try to remember that Dr. Becky thing of like, your job is to not make them happy every moment. You know, and I know. It's really hard, but it's also to prepare them for life. But this is a moment like, whatever's best for Alfred, honestly, right? It's it's like, it's either way. I think by 3, 4, they'll be like, I mean, we had lots of cats and like, this is terrible. We had lots of cats and dogs. And when I was a kid, I was like, maybe some kids are definitely different, but I was like, that's sad. When is the next one coming?
Thank you, next.
I love them, but I was also excited about the next cat or dog. Not all kids are like that.
Your cats are so integral to your family, though. And like every kid reacts differently, but we had a dog that we lost when Fox was maybe like 6, 7 months old. So definitely no memories of it. But he sees photos of them like laying next to each other when they were 3 or whatever it is. And like when he turned 4 and really understood the concept of pets and everything, like there would be random nights where like he would wake up like bawling and then he'd be like, I miss Daddy.
Wow.
And it's like you have no recognition. It's just like being able to see a photo of knowing that like you had a buddy. And instead of us being like, oh, let's protect him from the sadness, like we just like, we're so proud of him for like understanding the concept of family members and pets and cherishing things. And like, it's actually like quite beautiful to see them miss something and feel sadness for that bit. And then you get a moment to say like, you know, it's okay. You know, we have pets, you know, we may lose them. There are people in our lives that we may lose, but the fact that you're sad about it means you really loved him and he really loved you too. And, you know,
really
grief is just proof that love existed.
Yeah, that's true. And I think to your point of like the YOLO of it all, I know for those of us that all of us have pets and kids at the same time, like people may say it's like a stereotype, but like you do not show your cat or your dog as much affection as your kid when they're there. I don't know any parent that has a pet and a kid and the pet doesn't get the short end of the stick every once in a while. Not in like a way where there was that article that came out where the lady was like, she's not feeding her cat because she had a baby. And I was like,
God,
that's a new level. I'm more like,
or
sometimes
like Tonka, the chimpanzee.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm like,
I can't even talk about Tonka.
Yeah.
Poor Tonka.
So I'm like, I know there are times where like I'll kick Alfred out of the room because he's like annoying me. Where I like, especially when Henny was little, and I'd be like, stop meowing at me. You have to go in the other room, please. But I think now that we know our time is going to be a lot shorter. I mean, we always knew that we weren't going to have a long time with him because he's an older cat. But now that we have like a more concrete looking timeline, we definitely like our rose was this weekend. You know, we found a couple days ago was we all just like hung out together and like kissed and cuddled and like played and just like spent really good time together. Where I feel like maybe if I didn't know, I would still be kind of like, Alfred, you're bugging me.
You did stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
You just enjoyed the time.
Yeah, I just enjoyed being with him and enjoyed watching Henny play with him.
That's
yeah.
You know.
Cute pics.
Poor
Send us
Alfred.
the pics.
You had a bad cat week.
I know. And you know what? I was like, I
thought
just
you were going to say Grandpa
him.
Barry. Grandpa Barry just went to the vet, but he's fine.
Grandpa Barry's fine. But what one of my friends pointed out was actually a really good thing that Grandpa Barry, so it was very stressful Friday or Thursday, whenever it was, but Grandpa Barry basically like shit blood. And I noticed it like, I would say 5 minutes after I took an edible because my parents were home.
You're like,
I don't do drugs or drink if nobody's with me, but my parents were there.
Yes.
And I was like, they're here. So if there's an emergency, they'll be able to help me if I don't know, wake up in the middle of the night and the house is on fire. And so I'd literally like 5 minutes earlier put this edible in my mouth and then saw the blood on the cat box and was like, oh my God. So I called my mom. She was in the guest house. I was like, you have to take me to the urgent vet. Like something's wrong with Grandpa. And thankfully it was just that he like ate something. But I will tell you, being at the vet at 1 a.m. super high with your mother is like both interesting and not interesting at the same time.
And being like, Mom, I'm going to get more high as the night goes on.
So I did have to explain
I can't
that
believe you
to
did
her.
it at 1 a.m. I feel like I would have been like,
I was going to go to bed. Yes. It was to go to sleep. I was ready for bed. I had taken my shower. I was like, I'm going to get all cozy. And then I went to do my little sweep to be like, where's Grandpa? Because he likes to hide.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw it. And and my mom doesn't smoke weed and she never has. But I had told her that I'd taken an edible and she thought it meant that I was high in that moment. But it was like 5 minutes after I'd taken it. And when we got to the vet, she was like, so are you like really high right now? And I'm like, no. Since I ate it, I'm going to get like, it like absorbs that way. And she's like, so you're going to get more high as we sit here. And I was like,
I'm not high right now.
Yes. I'm like sobbing. I'm like, yes, yes. And I don't like being high in public. That's like not something that I enjoy. No, I like to be high in private. I like to use it to go to sleep. I am done.
Weird.
I was like,
I'll
my
be high
face felt
anywhere.
hot.
what do you take?
I
5
couldn't do it.
Or
5.
Yeah,
I
5
took
will get you
5.
that high?
It does.
Whoa.
It does.
I feel like I'm just chill with 5.
I mean, I'm sure I'm fine. I just
You're
don't do
usually
it often.
asleep.
I'm usually asleep when I'm that high.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm actually like. If I'm going to be around people, I would do like 2 milligrams. But this was like a 5 milligram big bite. But
do you guys get the thing where like when your mom is around, it's like, oh no, I'm baby now.
1,000%.
Right? Like, and even though my
1,000%.
kid's there, I'm like, you're grandma's baby.
Yeah.
And I'm grandma's baby too. Both of us are the babies
Yes.
and grandma's in charge.
I'm definitely still baby, but as she gets older, she and I keep noticing how similar she is to the toddler because she's like we're at
both
the
in
opposite
diapers.
ends. Yeah, you know.
At least she can call it out.
Yeah, well, she's 74 today. Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday.
But she's like, we're both waddling around. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, we get each other. We get up at the same time. We go to bed.
We nap at the same time.
Yeah.
we both only like soft foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this woman can eat. She likes all foods. I've never
Feed
seen
her on a little spoon.
I've never seen someone eat so much.
on her birthday, calling her out.
So we're big eaters.
But you were okay because
eating.
your
Don't know
mom
what
was
to
there.
say.
Your mom was there to take care of you and Grandpa Barry.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If my mom had been there, I don't know.
Yeah.
And my dad obviously had to be there so that someone, like, I was
Yeah,
like,
could
if they
watch
weren't
Henny.
here, number one, I wouldn't have been high. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But like
But you
waking
have
a
had to
baby
take
up at
Henny
1
with
a.m.
you.
to take him to the emergency vet with me would have been like a nightmare.
Yeah.
But the saddest but like sweetest thing that Henny did after my parents left, because he is obsessed with them.
Yeah.
They recorded on the little Tony box like a little message for him, and he'll put that on, and you see him go like, and like he got sad. And when they were leaving, we were looking out the window and we were waving bye-bye. He just started bawling. And I brought him outside and they came and I was like, didn't do that. She doesn't do that shit for me when I leave. Babysitter came today and he went,
Bye.
and just waved at me. And I was like, okay,
he's
Grandma and Grandpa
later.
get tears and
an
Mommy's chopped
intelligent
liver.
human being. He knows that Grandma and Grandpa don't come back as often.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll
That's good
see you at
attachment.
1
Yeah.
p.m.,
So
girl.
sweet.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. I was like,
I once had
so
to
cute.
carry Poppy after leaving the grandparents in Milwaukee, like through airport security, hyperventilating, sobbing on me. And they were like, could you put her down to go through? I was like, I can't. She's distraught. She left her grandparents. And they're like, all right, carry her through the detector. It's fine. She was just losing it for like 2 hours. It's
sad.
really sad.
I didn't have grandparents
so-
growing up, so I always I'm like,
Oh, I remember you said
Julian like loves. I mean, Miles' parents are like amazing, and my mom is great. You know, like they're such great teachers, and you know. But I didn't get that, so I'm like, oh, how exciting! You know, like that you get to have these like. I had a great grandmother, but she died when I was like 5. But that's like my memory, you know. But like, it is this special thing that I'm like so excited that he gets to get that extra comfort, you
That
know?
extra love.
Yeah.
I loved my grandparents. I don't know because I was obsessed. I mean, I have one grandma still left, but my other ones, obsessed.
Did they do anything for you that your parents didn't do for you? Like
Everything.
everything. You
I
got to have
whatever I
cookies over
wanted.
there.
And I was the
Yeah.
first girl. And I was the only girl until I was like 11 and my cousin was adopted.
I heard, again, I don't have grandparents, but I heard grandparents now are like different than possibly when we had, you know, because every generation seems to getting more and more emotionally intelligent, you know? So like, you know, yes, my parents are boomers, but you know, they're more as like, you know, my mom's parents, you know, I didn't get to meet them, but I'm sure, I don't think they said, I love you growing up, you know? So it's like these different generations change. So grandparents will change, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything. I do have one memory of my grandpa's this like Southern, like ex-Marine man. And he picked me up from, because my grandma didn't drive, he picked me up from softball practice and I'd gotten my period. I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. And
The first time you got
not
it?
the first time, but I was like very ill prepared. And
Yeah.
obviously like my grandma hadn't had a period in a while. So there were no like pads or tampons or anything in the house. And my grandpa took me to buy like pads and he was just
Did he
kinda
die?
like,
Yeah.
he was just kind of like,
these
we'll just
out.
do it. He's like, I don't know what we're supposed to get, but we're going to get these.
I can't
It's a
believe it
soft
happens to us at
moment for
12.
you.
This is wrong.
It is wrong.
It's crazy.
This is not okay.
Before you can drive, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no, it
nuts.
should just like way to steal from us. Like at 12.
childhood.
Yeah. I got it when I was, the first time I ever got it was a pre-basketball game. And maybe I've told this story before. So sorry, guys, for telling my period story again. I looked at the toilet right before the basketball game and I was like, gross, some girl left her period in the toilet. It was you. It was me. I played a whole game and I got home and I was like, I saw it and I was like, Mom, I've shit my pants somehow during the game. She's like, you did shit, you're a woman now. And it was like, oh, it was
Like,
disgusting.
don't make it weird.
Yeah, don't be weird.
Disgusting.
Except I was like, does that the American Girl catalog had a my first period like thing, and I was like, do I get this? Like I wanted just like
You always
a
look at the bright
present.
side, like, what can I get?
Yes, yeah.
What
And
gift?
I did not get it, but yeah. And then Mary, my friend from basketball team, the next day was like, I told her, and she was like, I thought I smelled period. I was like, God damn it.
No. Wow.
I was like, oh my.
Visceral.
Oh,
We had a
my
great game,
God.
you know.
Do you guys ever like listen to the way that you talk about your period with your sons? in the room. I mean, yours is older, so
Yeah.
he like obviously understands words that you're saying. Mine, I'm still 50% sure if he understands.
I'm
what
not precious
saying.
about it at
doesn't.
all.
Yeah.
Definitely not understanding.
We're like
He
go to the
understands
bathroom
about-
with the door open kind of family
Yeah.
all the time, and they always like if you're in the bathroom, that's exactly when they want to be in the bathroom with
Yeah.
you still.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like if I am changing a tampon, I'll just scream like, "Fox, Mommy's bleeding." I want some privacy. And he'll just be like talking at me about Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
I was like, can you not watch me like pull this out of my vagina? You
Wait,
know?
I'm remembering
But
now
they're-
because he was like, watch, because I've been teaching him like pee
Yeah.
pee poo poo, and I've been like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
this is mama's poo. So he's not like, not afraid. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
look at this one I did. But
Mama
killed it this morning.
They'll be like, "Are you going poo poo?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then
Yeah.
after you're done, it's like, "Are you done?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I see?" Because they love like flushing and going.
Yeah, they
bye-bye.
love flush. Exactly. But I had one
I'm
day
not
I
ready
had
for
a
this.
tampon,
Horrified.
and he was like, "What is this process?" I'm like, He was like, "Are you insert?" I'm like, I don't know. How to,
Yeah.
You're not two yet. I was like, "This is a thing," like whatever.
Yeah, I don't call it a period. I'm just like, "Mommy's bleeding," because he
Yeah.
understands what bleeding is, and I'll be like, "Every month, Mommy bleeds. Can I have some privacy in the bathroom?"
When you say it like
Yeah.
that, Jesus.
Mommy's bleeding.
Mommy's bleeding.
but you know,
is what it
makes more
is.
sense
I
to a
know.
5-year-old than
Yeah,
like
totally.
calling it a menstrual period and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
hormones
yeah.
and stuff. But like,
I mean-
he knows like bleeding when you get a cut or when you
Yeah.
scratch a mosquito bite, and sometimes it hurts and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
So it's like I feel like it's easier for him to say.
Yeah.
My mom sat me down and told me what sex was and watched a video on AIDS. So
They,
Oh, God.
yeah, they're
By 12, you really
cognizant.
were a woman in the world.
She was a therapist in the 90s, so they were really trying to
She was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this part of like the movement,
She
But-
was like, "You will not be uneducated in my house."
By the way, do I think I understood it like you're saying? No.
Yeah.
But there was a video with a dancing penis that I still remember.
dancing penis.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
a
try
nice
to be,
way to be introduced to a penis. That seems nicer.
It's not
Dancing.
threatening.
Dancing on a VHS.
It was a
tape.
man in a costume. It's really
Listen,
stuck
I
with
let
me.
the girls watch the Try Guys 10-year live special, and they were like, why were they dressed in the penis and vagina? And I was like, that's a great question. So we don't actually show our privates to other people, but if you're wearing a costume, it's fine.
I love that they have the words for penis and vagina.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
We also
great.
They've
even
had
go into, like,
anatomically correct baby dolls since they were Henny's age.
yeah. We're like wipe
I
your
need a naked
vulva
baby.
You need-
instead. And it's like, you know, I see so many TikToks of like if your kids really call their parts the scientific terms, like it isn't your vagina's inside and
Right.
the outside
Right.
it's your vulva or your labia or whatever, then they're like less likely to be targeted by predators
It's
because the
true.
predator is like, oh, you know, someone's talked to you about all of this stuff.
Yeah, I think the way that I talk to Henny about it is because not necessarily specifically my family, but like in the Midwest too. I feel like periods are yucky. Like that was
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
vibe when you were in school. It was
Oh,
like
and the secret,
periods.
like, do you have a tampon?
Yeah, whispering, "Do you have a tampon?" Asking
Yeah.
for a pad, bleeding through your whatever was like, ew, like hee hee hee. And I'm like, I want him to grow up to one
Yeah.
day be like, "Hey, do you need to borrow my jacket? Because you have your
Yeah.
period on your pants." Like,
Mhm.
it not, you know what I mean? That it's just like a thing that he knows that happens sometimes, and is like, "Oh, I could be helpful."
And you know, my kid's an older brother. He's gonna have a
Yeah.
younger sister. It's like I want if he's driving his younger sister home from softball and
Mhm.
she gets her period, I want him to be like, "Cool, we'll go to CVS," and I want him to know what to get her.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just talk about it.
I think that's why sometimes I'm like overly gross because I'm like, I don't like this idea that femininity, you can't be gross and boys can. I always have
Yeah.
been like, no, like I've said this before, but I grew up with mothers that farted, you know, and I know friends that didn't and they're like still ashamed to fart. And I'm like, what the hell? Like let loose, you know, but I
Yeah.
think that's the same thing with like, anything period talk or anything, it's hard to do it because it's shame is what it is, right? And so like it's like you almost have to be defiant and in my ways like being loud and humorous about it. But like I think it's important because that stuff like affects you. Like this is obviously I like the movie Superbad, but do I still remember that part in the movie where they're grinding and like she got a period on her and they were like, oh, no, it is gross, totally. But like as like a teenager watching that, I was like, oh my God, you know, like they think we're so disgusting, like burned in my brain, you know, or like, like did you guys read the book Prep?
No.
Oh,
What's that?
I think you would like it, Becky.
YA.
I'm in. YA? Is it for the youth?
Prep is maybe not. I read it in high school, but like it came out when I was in high school. It's like a boarding school, and this girl who's like not like a rich kid goes to boarding school. It's like her experience.
Classic
there.
trope.
And but there is like they called like girls' vaginas that smelled like cheese or like fish, and I could not get it out of my fucking head ever. It was like a mean thing that they said, but like like it's like traumatizing. But the book was good.
No. I mean, I'd like my son to know that it's cleaner and less gross to have like blood on your hands or your face or your mouth or whatever from a woman than like their poop or their pee or just like licking the handrail at the zoo. Like that's way more gross than like blood that's just been in your body.
Well, there's a book called that I really loved in college. Yeah. It's like a feminist book. And
we might have to bleep it so we don't get demonetized.
Oh, really? It's a book called CUNT.
Perfect.
And it's like this great feminist anthem. And I wasn't as hardcore as the book or whatever, but it has a part of like, she was just like, when I have my period, I just like let it go. Like, she's like part, and I was like, whoa, rock on, girl.
Good
like,
for her. I don't want to try and get stains out of all my clothes forever.
Yeah, no, totally. Also, there's like
cold water,
like,
girly pop. Cold water.
Yeah, no, I do that when I bleed through stuff, but like purposefully having to stain treat all your clothes all the time seems cumbersome and bad.
And like
and your sheets.
To be totally honest, I'm a light bleeder.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. So it's this idea of hiding it. It's so hard. It's so hard not to because it's an experience only half of the population does. But, you know, that's like, but if they had it, they'd be talking about all the freaking time.
If men had periods and gave birth, we would never hear the end of it. My God.
I know. It is true. It's like the Gloria Steinem quote, right? That like, if men had periods, there'd be, you know, tampon like vending machines everywhere you went.
For free. Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's Gloria Steinem.
And not hella taxed.
They get like 3 years off of work and being waited on hand and foot after giving birth.
Yeah, exactly.
A friend of mine's running a half marathon next weekend, and she is set to get her period day of. And she's like, do I just free bleed? And I was like, yeah.
Cup.
I mean,
yeah, cup, if you liked it.
If you like a cup.
I think it'd be hard at dripping down your legs while you run. I mean, go for it.
I mean, I think she's going to use.
Did do that as
that's
like
cool. That's rock
it was
and
like
roll.
a commentary on like women's.
I think
like
she's
the pink tax.
Going to use something, but she might not change it throughout because you know.
Yeah.
Until I started trying for a baby, never in my life did I know when my period was going to come.
Really?
I've never timed it, calculated. I was like, I think it's about to come.
And you're like, oh, you never had a week where you're just like, oh, I hate everything.
Yeah, but then I would get my period. I'm like,
get your period. Okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, like if someone ever was like, you know, the critique, like, who do you on your period? I would be like, huh. Maybe I am. That'd be great if I was. Then I would just be naturally depressed.
Have you ever had a week where you hated everyone and everything and none of your pants fit and you're like, my period's coming, and then you just realize that's you?
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't come for like 3 more weeks and you're like,
oh,
okay.
That's like when
I just suck.
It's like when Mercury retrograde, you're like, it must be. There's like the website. You're like, this is it. And they're like, nope. And you're like, are you sure? Everything seems to be going bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's just me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to track mine for PMDD, which is like PMS on steroids.
Oh,
like
right,
where you
right,
want to like kill
God,
everyone and everything.
That must be so hard.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
so
but it's
sorry.
better to know that you have it than to like, especially if you're already dealing, like I already have anxiety. So like having a name for like, oh, and obviously I take a little bit more medication during that time per my doctor's instructions.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much better.
Oh, wow.
And like, I'm not a huge fan of those D'Amelio sisters. I'm so sorry, fans of the pod. I know they're fans of the pod. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Not our pod, but the other pod. But yeah, Charli D'Amelio talked about having PMDD on like some magazine. And it's like, oh, like literally, I think she said like, I didn't know it wasn't normal to like not want to kill yourself right before your period.
Yeah.
Like to feel
Yeah,
that way.
It's so silly, but like you just have like one person that's like a celebrity or cool that says something and you're like, oh, okay. You know, it's just like
Awareness
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Representation matters.
It's true. Yeah.
That's actually when representation matters. It
really
what we've
does.
learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, it has been amazing gabbing and gossiping and chit-chatting
Yap,
about
yap,
all
yap.
things us for the last hour or so. We're going to record another episode after this. Unfortunately, Rachel has to go back to work and it's not fair. We
Do
don't
my
love
work
that.
for me, Rebecca, and then I can stay as long as you want.
Look, I already gave you the idea of bad kitchen. We just got to make it happen.
I'll help.
Bad kitchen is not a feasible idea.
I'm an idea maker, Rachel. An idea maker.
I do want to do surprise Becky though. Becky gotcha.
Becky gotcha. Becky gotcha. Guys, where can the people find you? Where can they watch your things? You're on the internet.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at PetsybOn. PETESYBON. If I'm spelling that right.
Love Jojo.
And I'm on Instagram as Joey No Good.
Arkle.
You know where I'm at. Don't worry about it. I'm here. I'm at Try Guys all the time.
Love that.
Love.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, make sure you wash your hands, pee after sex, talk about periods like they're not gross or shameful. Any other lessons we learned in this? YOLO life.
YOLO life.
YOLO life. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye. What? That was weird.